thank you so much for being here today, for coming to Parliament Hill and continuing to raise your voice about these vital issues. It's great to see so many people from the Uyghur community. I saw a few Tibetans coming in, and I suspect there's people from a broad range of other communities as well that are seized by this cause, that are continuing this important fight for justice. So it's great that you're all here to show your support. And I want to share that it's been, I think, about a year that we put forward the genocide recognition motion that had passed, and now we're pushing for further action to respond to the reality of that genocide. There's a number of private members' bills that are before Parliament that are going to be debated in advance this fall, and we need your advocacy and your support, encouraging members of Parliament to expedite those bills, to vote for those bills. There's Bill S-204 from Senator Leo Housakos. If that bill passes, it would ban the importation of any goods into Canada that were produced within East Turkestan. That would make a big difference in terms of combating forced labor. Building on the work done in the US with the Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act, we have nothing like that in Canada, and our enforcement on forced labor is abysmal. So yes, Bill S-211 that's currently before the Foreign Affairs Committee would help, but we need to go further with Bill S-204 that would go all the way to banning any products that come out of East Turkestan. There's the bill that I'm sponsoring in the House from Senator Ratulajan, S-223, that would make it a criminal offense for anyone to benefit from forced organ harvesting and trafficking. This has been an issue championed for a long time, especially by the Falun Gong community, but we know that Uyghurs are victims as well of forced organ harvesting and trafficking. So passing Bill S-223 would certainly help to move that along. And then there's Bill C-281 from my colleague Philip Lawrence, the International Human Rights Act. This bill would require the government to table an annual report on the work they're doing on international human rights. It would require the government to respond anytime a parliamentary committee put forward a motion to have someone sanctioned under the Magnitsky Act. The bill would also have the effect of taking Chinese state-controlled media off the Canadian airwaves. We've seen this done with RT that's pushing Russian government propaganda, and yet we continue to have Chinese government propaganda pushed through Canadian airwaves. And the bill doesn't name a specific country, but Bill C-281 would say that anytime the House of Commons recognizes that a government is committing genocide, that any media that government controls lose their license to broadcast in Canada. Yes. I don't think dehumanizing foreign state propaganda should have a protected place on Canada's airwaves. And I think that's something that Parliament should be able to recognize. Look, it's been done with RT, but why this selective approach, where one violent, aggressive, authoritarian government is taken off Canadian airwaves, but another has a right to continue or is allowed to continue with impunity. So we've gone from members of Parliament recognizing the Uyghur genocide to now saying there are specific concrete legislative actions that we can take. And we continue to fight against this injustice, to challenge the government of China to speak out about what's happening to Uyghurs and so many other communities within China, but also to try to take these concrete legislative steps within our own Parliament to move forward and respond to this. The government of Canada, unfortunately, still has not recognized the Uyghur genocide, but we're pressing ahead to try to get these vital pieces of legislation passed that I know will make a very significant difference. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your support on those. And please continue to be present here to lobby members of Parliament, and I look forward to continuing to work with you. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you very much, MP Garnett. We can have, if only we could have more MPs just like Garnett, we would be made like, we will not be like standing here. It would have been recognized long time ago. With this note, I would like to thank all organizers, all participants. Of course, this was not happened just before, like just because of one organization. Everyone contributed, everyone participated. Among us, we have East Turkestan Association of Canada. We have representative of I Support Uyghurs. We have Uyghur Academia people. We have also a Darman Foundation people, Uyghur Rights Advocacy Project, and many others. So this is a very united march, continued and assembly, and we have our brothers and sisters coming as far as from Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary, London, Ontario, Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, etc. So thank you very much for your presence, for your active support. And with this, I would like to ask if there is anyone who would like to address, maybe share personal family stories, because we would like deliver this message to Canadians, that this is happening, this is real, it affects us directly, Canadians living in Canada. There is also intimidation and harassment of our diaspora made by Chinese security. And we would like action, we would like to see more action on that by our Canadian officials. No? Okay. With this, we have a reserved place for up to 4 p.m. But feel free to stand, feel free to